in to do, then if you start to work, you can move it to in progress. Once it is done, you can move it to the done, and here also you can see it will be marked as completed. And again, if you come to the backlog here, you will see here also it's marked as done. Hi folks, and welcome back to qebro. I hope all of you are doing good, and welcome back to another video on my channel. So for the last couple of weeks we were exploring about Agile, and then I mentioned that for Agile also we can use some tools to help in our day-to-day work, mainly for our Scrum teamwork. So in that case, I select this Jira. It's from the Atlassian. Atlassian is also another company who has a wide range of products for SDLC related things. Like if you can remember the Smart Bear, they had so many different products for the API parts. Similarly, Atlassian also have so many similar tools or so many tools uh, which you can use for your day-to-day tasks in your Agile teams. So from Atlassian, I selected Jira. So this is like one of the mainly or widely used tools for Scrum teams. But unfortunately, there is no free license on. Only the licensed products are available with the Atlassian. So, but there is a demo site which you can use to have a look and give a try on this demo site, and then you can decide whether you will use or whether you will buy the license or not. So using this jira.demo.almworks.com's link, you can visit the website. Don't worry, I will share the link. And so this is the landing page or the login page. Here also you can see some links for some walkthroughs, so quick guides are here. And also here bottom you can see the username and password for this particular demo site. So I will log in as demo. So this is the dashboard where you will be get redirected. So this is a editable dashboard. Based on your need, you can update this particular dashboard and add different charts like the burn down gadgets or some like Gantt charts. All these things you can add to the dashboard, where then you can get a quick glance at your project, about the status of the project, where you are. About all this information you can easily get through these dashboards. So for the stakeholders it will be easy. So for example, now they have added a sprint burn down chart. So this shows like for each sprint, like how many finished work and how many remaining work. Likewise, those information we can show on the sprint burn down chart. And then agile wall board gadget is there. Like here also it will show a list of items, which tickets are in to do, which ticket is in progress. Like that, currently here no data because it's not correctly configured for one of our sprint boards, that's why. Then a Gantt chart, you know what Gantt charts are. And then likewise you can see all this information with these different gadgets, so different items. So here you can see, if you go to add gadget option, here it will show you all available different gadgets where you can easily add it to your project or your dashboard. So here you will see the add gadget option. If you click on that, and you will see the gadget was added to the dashboard, then you can here configure it. So here first you need to filter for the project. So let's see what are the available projects here. So okay, then let's try to find someone. So these all are like sample data which are available on this demo site. So I just selected one, then participants, votes, then what is the interval, the data to show 1 week. So let's add like 12 weeks to get some more data, and then yeah, you can save it. And then now you can see after the configuration, so it will show all the data on these gadgets. Similarly, you can configure previously added gadget as well. So here if you click on the three dots, here you will see the option called edit. If you go to edit, now you can see you can again change it here. Let's say team A Scrum board, and then show board name, all every, yeah, to refresh So this is the automatic refresh. So let's say every 15 minutes it will automatically refresh and get new data, and we can save it. Okay, still okay for the team Scrum seems there are no data. However, likewise you can create new gadgets, so update or edit existing gadgets, and also if you need you can delete these gadgets as well, and also you can refresh it to retrieve new data too. Likewise, you can play with these dashboards, and also if you need you can create new dashboards as well. Let's say for example you can have multiple dashboards for different stakeholders with different data, because like the Scrum team might need only some set of gadgets like about the status agile gadget, the whole board, maybe the Gantt chart, or maybe the sprint burn down. Likewise, those information will be needed for the Scrum team. But when it comes to some other stakeholders like the product owners or someone, so they might not need the burn down chart likewise, because they need to focus about the whole product with about the whole Scrum teams. So in that case, they might need some more bigger aspects. So like from maybe a bigger view covering like all the Scrum teams. So in that case, for those stakeholders, we can create a separate dashboard and give permission based on the need of these different stakeholders. So each dashboard. So you can do that as well. Other than that, you can edit the layout. Currently, the layout is like this on kind of like two-side view. If you don't like it, you can select different other layouts as well. Let's say if I want kind of a three-pane view, three-panel view, I can drag and drop. Likewise, I can create this panel. Okay, so now this is my new view. Likewise, you can edit the layout as well. Other than that, here you can see if you want to create a new dashboard, you can directly copy this one and then edit it. Or here you can go and edit this existing dashboard. Here you can change the name, description, who are the viewers, then who are the editors. Those permission also you can manage from here. Those options are there. Other than that, you can share this dashboard with someone. You can delete the whole dashboard. You can go and find the other dashboards, create a new dashboard from the scratch. Instead of copy and edit, you can create it from the scratch as well. Or else you can view this as whole board. So let's try out that option here like this. So this is, you can like if you need you can put this particular view, so then every time it will get update and quickly you can see all this information in a quick glance. So that option is also available. So that's about the dashboard. And here also on the top panel you will see under dashboards you can manage dashboards, and here you will see all the dashboards, and also here you can mark any dashboard as favorite, or you can remove it. I will undo it, so the favorite dashboards will be visible in a separate page, so then easily you can find your mostly visited dashboards. And then other dashboards also you can view like this, and there's a search as well. You can search based on different criteria and find the dashboards too. And also again create dashboard option is here. Then so that's about the dashboard. So you can configure or create dashboards for your projects to get a quick glance about all the stats about your project. Then you can have the projects, you can create the projects as well. So I will first, yeah, let's go to the search page. Here you can see all the available projects will be visible here based on different criteria. You can search the same like the dashboard. So then I will go to this particular project, let's say safe team A. So based on your company organization, there can be multiple projects. Right? So for each project, you can create a category or a new project here, and then inside the project, you can create the other Scrum boards and the tickets and everything. You can group under this project. So that's the use of projects. So since I click on the project, now you can see this is like my project page. So for the project I can create a board. Then the backlog means all available tickets. So you know now what is backlog, because we already discussed this with the safe agile part. I showed you what backlogs are. And then the active sprints I can see the board, Likewise, all the options are there under the project. So that's about the project, and if you need, you can create a new project as well. So let's look at another project, maybe the QA project here. So for the QA project also, you can see issues, reports, release, all this information are there. So then I will go to the issues section or the boards. Let's say if I go to the boards again, boards also you can see all the boards. So here the board means like, so each Scrum team you can have a different board. Let's say in our Agile release train we have 5 Scrum teams. So for each 5 Scrum teams we will be having only one project, because all these 5 Scrum teams are working for one project. For example, let's say project name is ABC. So you can create one project, but inside the project there are 5 Scrum teams working together. Let's say team A, team B, team likewise, or team 1, team 2, likewise up to team 5. For each 5 teams you can create 5 different boards. Board for the team 1, board for the team 2, likewise there will be 5 different boards. So all these 5 different boards are grouped under the same project. I hope it's clear now. So then likewise here you can create a new board for each team, and also here you can have the Kanban boards and other necessary boards as well. So let's see one of these boards. So here we have a test board. Let's check out that. Now you can see the board, and as I mentioned previously, it has different options like the to-do items, in progress items, and finished items. Likewise, for let's say if this is like our sprint. Okay, again, you know what sprint is like in our PI. Let's say we have 5 sprints, sprint 1, sprint 2, likewise. So each team had their own board, right? So yeah, we have project ABC. Inside that, let's say my team is team 2. So for team 2, I have my own board. So under my board, now let's say we have multiple sprints as well. Sprint 1, sprint 2, likewise 5 sprints. For each sprint, so now let's say this is my current sprint. So in progress sprint, once sprint is finished, I can complete this sprint, this board, and then I can start the sprint 3 board. So likewise, so those things will be here. So this is a Kanban board, so that's not what I need. Maybe this one, I need a Scrum board. Okay, like this. So now you can see here it shows like how many days remaining for my sprint and I can complete. But here now, yeah, this is like 2016 some, as it is like having only, okay, maybe let's go and create our own board for my team. Let's say create board. I need, so here you can see whether it's a Scrum board or a Kanban board. A Kanban board you can use for, because if you can remember under Agile I mentioned there are different types of Agile, the Scrum, the Kanban, likewise. So in Kanban, as you previously see, all the tickets will be there. So teams can pick tickets and move between different status and work on those. But on the Scrum team, which we discussed on last week as well, we have more workflow, like we'll have the PI planning, the sprint planning, and then we have sprints where we do actual work likewise. So I will create a Scrum board, and then board from an existing project, or you want like this, I will create for existing project, and then I can give a name. So I will give team 1 Scrum board, and here I can select a project, so all the available projects. So from that they will give all the options. So I will go with save team A. So actually this is not a team board, like the project should be for whole teams, and then this is my team. Okay, I will create the board. So now all the tickets which are inside this particular the project will be visible, and if those are assigned, like now you can see sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, likewise it already created for 3 sprints automatically, and since these tickets are assigned for each sprint, so those are assigned like this here, and the remaining tickets will be on the backlog. Now you can select from the backlog and add it to your sprints based on your plan. You can likewise change between, and you can create the sprint. So this part maybe will be done at the PI planning time, and then when we start in the sprint we will do the sprint planning as well. So you can remove tickets, add tickets, change those information. Likewise, you can work. So however, this is like how you will create your team board and plan your boards. And then okay, so here option to go to the backlog. So in the backlog view, you can see all these future sprints as well and your team backlog. So then from this backlog, you can select the items. So the team backlog was decided at the PI planning time. So you selected the tickets or the epics which you will work, and then from that you took it to the your backlog, team backlog. Then from your team backlog, you will select items for your sprints. I hope it's clear. So that is the backlog option here. Then you will see the active sprint. So let's say currently our active sprint is sprint 1. If you go here, so yeah, active sprint will be visible. And when you start your sprint, you can select the start and end dates. So based on that, it will show here how many days remaining. And then once the end date is there, you can complete the sprint. Currently those options are blocked. But let's see if I go to here sprint 1, here also, yeah, currently these edit and complete sprints are blocked, options not visible. For the sprint 2 also, yeah, it's same. I can't edit because it's on the demo site. But however, if you in your active projects, you will be able to complete sprint, and then once sprint 1 is completed, sprint 1 will be removed from here and it will go into the reports. I will show that later. And then sprint 2 will be there. Then you need to go to here, and here you will see start sprint. You need to start your sprint 2, and then you will see it here. And then you can move the tickets once it is into do. Then if you start to work, you can move it to in progress. Once it is done, you can move it to the done. And here also you can see it will be marked as completed. And again, if you come to the backlog here, you will see here also it's marked as done. So likewise, you can play with your tickets inside your boards, the backlog and the sprint board. So I hope it's clear about the board and the backlog. And then we have the releases. Okay, what a release is. Let's say once I complete the tickets as done. So here if you go back, here I complete or mark the tickets as done. Let's say dev work is completed, testing work is completed based on your definition of done. Yeah, for your project, you can have a DOD, a definition of done. How you will consider a ticket as done? Based on your project, it can be varied. You can define that. For example, let's say I will define as dev works need to be completed, QA work should be completed, both manual testing and automation. So that means in sprint automation need to be done. If any performance testing is need for the particular ticket, that also need to be completed. If all these things are done, then you can mark the ticket as done. Otherwise, you can't. So then let's say what will happen. Okay, my sprint is 2 weeks, and let's say the last day is today, but I still couldn't finish one ticket because one of these criteria doesn't meet. But other tickets are done. So, but now let's say I can't complete sprint because still one ticket is in progress. What should I do in that case? So yeah, in such scenarios, you need to again revisit the ticket. Now you can again check what remaining. And then in such cases, yeah, if still there is active work to be done, then you need to move this particular ticket to the next sprint. So here, you don't need to change anything in the ticket. You can click on the complete sprint. Then it will show a dialog box. It will ask what they should do for the remaining incomplete tickets. So then there will be a drop down. There you can select different options, whether to move the ticket to the backlog. Let's say if the ticket is like deviated or the plan changed, we will not cater it in near future, then you can move it to the backlog. Or else you can move it to the next sprint 2. Those options will be there, and then you can mark as complete. And then the sprint will finish. This particular ticket will be moved to the sprint 2. So then you can carry out the remaining work in the next sprint. Okay, so that is about that. And here if you check again, there are some options available. The link, the title, to whom it is assigned, and this is the epic. And then here what is the priority and what is the type of the ticket, and the story points, the number. You will see different numbers are there. Okay, let's visit one of the tickets to get more idea about the information inside the ticket. Again, you will see the reporter, the assignee. Now if you need, you can assign this to yourself. Okay, the demo user. Why this is important? Because let's say the same ticket will be work by multiple people. First, let's say the developers will assign it to themselves and they will do the dev work. Then the quality engineers can assign it to themselves and do the testing. Then if there are separate performance engineers, they can assign it to themselves and do the performance testing. Likewise, so that same ticket, the assignee will change, the reporter and the assignee. And if you need, you can vote as well. So based on the number of votes, if you need to prioritize the tickets, then if you need to watch, that means like if any comments or any update, you will receive the emails. Then the created updated information, those information also there. Then you can add the comments. So once developers finish, maybe they can add a comment, or if you need to clarify something with the business analyst or the product owners, you can ask the questions. Those things also can be done in the comment. And then here other things like the what is the type. There are different types like a story. Currently we have only epic, bug and task. Epic is, let's say for a full feature you can have epic. Inside epic there will be multiple stories. Story is a user stories where actual feature for, let's say the full feature is the epic. For example, let's say I want to create a whole new dashboard. So for that dashboard part I will have an epic, but inside the dashboard there will be small user stories. Like I should be able to log into the dashboard, and then I should be able to view the dashboard. I should be able to edit the dashboard. Likewise, all these things are like small requirements inside the particular API. So for these requirements, you can have different stories. So story you can write as like, let's say, as an admin user, I should be able to edit the dashboard. Likewise, so there is a method in writing the stories as well. Then inside the story, you can have multiple subtasks. For example, let's say for the dev work, QA work, or else if you need to do some AWS work, some DevOps work. Likewise, if there are different work to be done, for each different task, subtasks, you can create task and subtask as well. So that you can create inside the story as well. And then you have the bugs. Yeah, when the testers complete their testing work and if they find bugs, then they can report bugs. The production issues you can report as bugs here. Likewise, then the priority based on the ticket you can select, and these things are configurable from admin for your project. You can configure it. Then epic, again I will go to the epic as well and will show the epic. So this is the epic. Epic will hold all the other tickets. Again, the type is epic. The priority, same information will be there for the epic. Then, so inside the project there will be epics. Inside the epic there will be stories. Inside the stories there will be tasks and the subtasks likewise. And here you can see the program as well, the project. So here you will see the project. Inside the project it shows all the epics of the project. So let's say at the PI planning time, different teams will assign these different epics for each team. Okay, let's say 5 teams will take each team one epic, because inside epic there is so many other work. There will be many user requirements, so many user stories. So then they will assign those different user stories and different tasks for each their sprint. So that's how it will happen. I hope it's clear. Okay, so now you know what epic is, what program is, and what stories are. Then here again, if you need to create new tickets, you can go to more, and here you will see the option clone, and then you can edit. It's like copy and then edit. Or else if you need to move it between, you can move here. If you need to create a subtask, or if you need to convert this to a subtask, those options are also there. Or else you can click it from here as well, a new one from scratch. If you click it from clone, all the data will be copied and then you can edit the necessary data. So that's the difference between that clone and create. Okay, now you know about the sprint, the tickets, stories and everything now. Okay, and then about the story points. The story point is here. Okay, before that I will show the sprint. Here it is assigned to the sprint, that's why it shows here and in the backlog as well. If you change between, so let's say currently this team A story 8 is assigned to sprint 2, and then I will move this to sprint 3, and then if I refresh it here, now you can see it is a sprint 3. The same thing you can do it from here as well. So this is now in sprint 3. I will move it to sprint 2, and here story 8 in sprint 3, and then now it was moved to sprint 2. Likewise, you can change the sprint. Then the story points. The story points, you will see different numbers are there. So these story points need to be assigned from the team, Scrum team. So when they do the Scrum, the sprint planning or other meetings, they can decide about the weight of this particular task or how big is the work. So that depends on not on the number of days, but number of, let's say, the complexity of the particular task. Let's say if this takes 10 days, it doesn't mean it's 10 story points. No, it's based on the complexity. And then whole team need to vote with their suggested numbers, and then you can pick. Okay, let's take an example. Okay, so this is our dashboard story, let's say. Now the team discuss about it. In our team, let's say we have 3 developers and 4 developers and 2 quality engineers. So all 6 Scrum team members. So they will discuss about this. So what they will do is like, okay, they will, if there is any information, they will talk, and then different people will give their suggestions. We can clarify all these things, and then now it's time for the story points. Now based on the complexity of the work, but again, how we can measure the complexity or compare the complexity with other work? For that, you need to have a baseline story. A baseline story means like we have already decided one story point means this type of work. For example, let's say in our project we need to find a user flow, and we need to assign that one story. For example, the login flow. There is a story, let's say, as a user, I should be able to log into the system with valid credentials. So that is one story point task or one story point user flow in our program. So okay, so that is, if that is one story point, then with compare to that, how many story points should be there for this particular story? The complexity. If a valid user login complexity is one story point, then with compare to that, how many story points should be there for the complexity of this particular work, the dashboard? So then someone will say, okay, this is a 3 story point. Some will say 5 story point. Likewise, different people will give different inputs. That also there is a nice way to do, like we have this Scrum cards, a card pack with different numbers. So people will like take this, everyone will get cards with all these values, and then they will think. So each people individually decide the number of stories, and they should like hold the card so to visible to everyone. So then we will see the Scrum Master will check like, okay, all the numbers. If let's say everyone gave 3, okay, then no problem because everyone decided the same. So we can assign 3 story points. But let's say one person gave 8 story points, but another one gave 3 story points. There's a huge difference. Why 3 and 8? So then we need to ask like, why you gave 3? So he will give his idea like, this because of this I thought this is a 3. Then the other person also will say, because of my because of these ideas I gave a 8. Now again we can discuss. Maybe we also missed something which the person who gave 8 have identified some corner cases, those the others didn't. So then okay, now we can again brainstorm, and again we can do again the voting, and then we can come to a conclusion. Let's say again there are, as I mentioned, 6 people, 4 developers and 2 quality engineers. Let's say 4 out of 6 gave as 5. So then that is more than 50% of votes. So then in that case we can go with the 5. Likewise, you can decide the story points. Okay, then so what are the available numbers? Like you already saw like 5, 8, 15, but you didn't saw 4, 7. Why? Because we use the Fibonacci sequence for the story points. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 30, 21. Likewise. Here, in this demo it has given 50. But we will normally use the Fibonacci sequence for the story points, and normally we will take the smallest as 1 and the largest as 21. So then let's say if a story has more than 21 points, then what should you do? In such cases, you need to try to break this story into smaller manageable parts. If the story is like 30 story points or more, so in that case you can't assign it. Then you should try to break that into manageable smaller parts, maybe let's say into 2 story points of 21 each. Likewise, you can do that as well. So that's how you can manage story points for your tickets. I hope it's clear. Then again, but again, let's say here we have now 3, 6, 7 stories. And if you check the number of story points, you will see a huge number is there. We have only 6 engineers. Then how can we decide how much story points we can cater in this sprint? Or what is our capacity? The capacity of the Scrum team. So that will be at beginning, maybe you can have a baseline value like, let's say, for each sprint 10 story points for each member. Then 6 members means 60 story points for the whole sprint for the Scrum. Then you can see when it is exceeding 60, you can drop tickets. Likewise, you can work. But later, when you work for a couple of PIs, then you can check your reports and you can see the history, and then you can get the actual numbers, how much capacity your team has. And also you need to reduce any holidays, any vacations. So because this the baseline value 10 story points for each engineer means if he is working all available days for the sprint. But let's say he is out for half of the sprint, then his capacity should be 5. And then let's say if there are a couple of holidays, so in that case the whole team will be out on those days. So for that a fair share need to be reduced from your capacity, and then based on your capacity you can add the tickets to your sprint. So that is how the capacity will be decided and the story points will be assigned for your tasks. I hope that is also clear. Okay, so that part is also done. So I think I will stop for today from here. Otherwise, it will be a lot for you to remember. Now you know a lot about dashboards, the projects, the boards, and then how you decide the capacity and how did you assign the stories, and then how did you assign the story points to your stories as well. From the next video, we can discuss the remaining items like the reports and the other stuff related to your Jira workflow in your Scrum. So, see you till next week and happy testing.